To call to order the, sorry. It's 6 o'clock, so I'm going to call the Katuitt Fire District Prudential Committee to order November 14th, 2022. I'm going to do the roll call. Mr. Eager,
Present.
Mr. Lynch, Mark,
He just stepped away.
Oh. Mr. Perone,
Present.
Rampart's present. And-
Sorry, I had to run off for a second. I'm present.
Okay, thank you. Can we do the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
of the
of
United
the United
States
States
of America,
and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which
for
it
which
stands,
which it stands,
one
one
nation,
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 under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
liberty, and justice
justice
for all.
for all. Thank you. Could I have a motion, please, to open the tax classification hearing?
so moved.
Is there a
Second.
second?
Seconded.
Seth, your vote is?
Aye.
Mark, your vote is?
Aye.
And my vote is aye. Good evening, Mr. Partridge.
Good evening.
We're all set.
Okay, so I do have a PowerPoint that I can go through. If I think, let me see if I can share my screen here.
Yes, you should be able to.
And hang on one second. Yes. Oop. That's something different. There we go. So this is your LA4, which we I fill out and put in Gateway. You can see, and I'll show you further in some other slides, but it's gone up considerably. Values have really increased this year. As you know, everything's done 2 years in arrears, so the real estate market that we analyzed to come up with the new values for 2023 was what occurred in calendar 21. And if you were watching anything in 2021, you know that there was lines at open houses and values were just skyrocketing. And unfortunately, that's what we had to measure this year. So if you, this next slide is calculating your tax rate. Actually, wait a minute, we jumped one. I go back. It's skipping. There is one, there's a slide that for some reason it's not showing. I'm sorry. Let me try something else here and see if I can get it. Yes, this is the one I want. Yep. Technology is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so this one here, you can see the value changes. So we had $1,734,000,000 last year. We're now to $2,217,000,000 in the residential, with a 27%, almost 28% increase. Commercial went from 19 to 21 million. Industrial stayed the same. Personal property went up some as well. So our overall increase for Katuitt was 2752. So a major increase up. Excuse me. And because of the increase in the commercial, in the residential side and not the commercial, you've had a kind of a shift of the burden even more to the residential side of things. So as you can see, your residential class makes up 97.78% of your levy or pay your valuations. Commercial, industrial, and personal property makes up the other. When we take your levy that your appropriations that you've had of 2,948,000, it produces a tax rate of $1.30, which is down from last year of $1.70. It's just because it's math. If the values go up, the tax rate comes down. If the levy stays relatively the same, and vice versa. If values go down, tax rate would go up, and you would still collect roughly the same amount of the levy. So this is, I put this in, I don't, you haven't ever split the rate, but I thought I just demonstrate it anyways. So you have $1.30 in the residential rate. If you shifted to the maximum of 150% to the commercial, you would only save a penny on the tax rate, while the commercial rate would go up 65%, 65 cents rather. So it's basically due to the stock that you have. You're just so heavy with residential that a split rate just doesn't move anything. Here we have the average single family tax bill. We have an average value now of $903, $391.30 tax rate. The bill would be $1,174. If you shifted the entire amount to that you're allowed to shift to the commercial, that bill would only go down to $1,165, savings of $9. So you can just see that the math just doesn't work to shift the rate. I threw in a commercial one just so you could see where you are and what it would do. So you would go from an $832 tax bill on the commercial side to a $1,248, or a shift of $416. So you would hit the commercial side on the average tax bill $400 to save $9 on the residential side. You can see that it just doesn't seem to work too well with the split you have. So tonight, what you're deciding is, do I split the tax rate or don't I split the tax rate? I think it's pretty obvious from the data that you really shouldn't. The motion would be, if you are not going to split, and you're going to keep it a unified rate, your motion would basically you want to vote a residential factor of 1. So that's all I have on the slideshow. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Are there any? Seth?
Not for me.
No.
Actually, I have one question. I missed Mr. Partridge's introduction, I think. So I'm not sure who he is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's the assessor.
I'm the director of assessing for the town of Barnstable.
Okay.
And I'm the guy that comes up with all the numbers. So between Ray and I, we put all your information into the Department of Revenue and produce what your tax rate's going to be. So
Thank you.
I was not able to make your meeting last year, and Ray, I can't remember why. I think it was I had Hyannis the same night or something like that, but we had a conflict last year. So I do apologize for that. I started with the town a year ago, just about a year ago, 1st of October last year, and took over as the director. So my predecessor, I understand, did not make these presentations to the fire districts. And I really think that it's important that you know where your numbers are coming from. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
All right. Well, welcome and thank you.
Okay, no problem.
So I would accept a motion to keep the tax factor at 1.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, Seth,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Fran Parks, aye. I declare the tax factor setting meeting, tax classification meeting closed. Thank you very much, Mr. Partridge.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, and same time next year.
Yep, made it very easy to understand.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Aye.
Okay. So I'm gonna slip the minutes in here to approve for the October 24th meeting. Seth, do you have any questions about the minutes?
No, they seem fine to me.
Okay, you want to make a motion to accept them?
I move to accept the minutes from the October meeting.
I second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Having not attended, I suppose it's not appropriate for me to vote on that, so I
Why
will.
not?
I do have one question, though, after reviewing the minutes.
Okay.
Can you give me the 30-second on the
Sure.
sunshine or the good government complaint and what that was about?
It was a personnel issue. I think it would be better if we, you discussed it with Ray. He could fill you in
Okay.
on that.
Okay,
Are you talking about the one that we had, Mark's referencing the one where the Attorney General's office got back to us, the one from a year ago, right?
yes,
Okay. Yeah, the Attorney General said that the executive session was improper. Apparently she tried to get a hold of me via email several times, but that was when my email wasn't working. So I never got any of her emails to answer any of her questions. So, but
what was the why'd we go into executive session?
that was about the possibility of a union meeting about
It was negotiations. It was remember when it was
Statement
the
of-
open letter to the fire department, wasn't that what it was?
no, it was a SOG that Paul had written. It was a statement of guidelines. I believe that's what it is. And I
Oh,
forgot. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Fran, can you just do me a favor and send me a copy of the Attorney General's letter so I know what the basis is, so we can keep ourselves on the straight and narrow.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Ray, are you set with your report?
Yes, I sent that out, so hopefully you had a chance to glance at it. If not, I'll try to walk you through it. We're talking about the results for the 4 months ended October 31st, 2022. 1922, God forbid. Overall, revenue is right at the budget target for the 4 months ended October. That's 33%. Expenditures are over at 38%, but this reflects the annual payments made in the first few months of the year. Taking a closer look at revenue, current tax collections are behind the budget target of 33%, at 30% based on the 2023 estimated tax levy. Now that we've approved that rate, we'll be getting the actual levy in December. But I believe that our estimated levy is pretty darn close. Prior year tax collections were similar to last year at this time. However, tax penalties and collections on our tax liens was well ahead of budget. And that brought the overall tax category up to budget at target levels. Water rates and meter collections were practically on budget. Antenna collections and solar were well ahead. Antenna was 40% and solar was seven times the budget at 233,000, I guess it was. And I believe there's a bit of catch up on that solar. I think last year we saw that towards the end of the year, the collections for solar fell off and they're now catching up. So overall,
Ray, why is that? Just the amount of sunshine?
no, I believe it's internal processing with the agency that had the credits, that we get the credits from. They were slow in processing things.
Okay,
I don't think it had any weather, there was any weather impact. So overall, water department revenue is at 34%, just over budget. Ambulance receipts are strong at 43% and continue a trend that we saw last year. I'm not sure if all districts are experiencing that, but we certainly see that in West Barnstable as well as in Katuitt. Interest was also well above budget, and that reflects a rather conservative budget plus the higher interest rates that we're now experiencing. So overall, revenue comes in at 33%, just where we should be at the end of October. Expenditures for the Prudential are 45% of the budget, and that reflects the annual payment for property and liability insurance and workers' comp insurance. There's also our fee for the town. We paid that early this year. So a number of one-time expenses that came in at or below budget actually, but because of their impact, make the month to date number higher than the 33% target. Finance salaries and basically all other areas in the Prudential area were below budget. The fire department salaries were on budget and other expenses below the October target. And that came in at about 31%. They are the only area where they are running above budget with any significance is in vehicle repairs and strangely uniforms. Uniforms is a timing issue of when people get their uniforms, but talking with the chief, he believes that the vehicle maintenance program had slipped and he's doing a bit of catch up on that. So we'll probably see that continue, that variance continue for a while, but I believe it'll be contained within the overall budget rather readily. Water department salaries are below budget. And that's due to lower overtime, and other expenditures are well below budget with the exception of chemicals and phone. Chemicals, talking with Chris, is part of it is freight, as Lisa mentioned last meeting, but also he's increased the treatments, and that accounts for the disproportionate use of chemicals. The phone appears to be just a timing issue. There are six bills in the October year-to-date figures. Last year there were 5. It looks like we'll end up with no variance in that. Freedom Hall maintenance expenses are well below budget. Salaries are at 31% and expenses at 21%. The only notable variance is in ground maintenance, and that's really due to two things, primarily seasonality. We have ground maintenance in the summer and less so in the winter for plowing, etc. And the other part was that we have a new contract that charges us on a monthly basis. Streetlights were similarly, if I can get that out, well under budget. The first long-term payment that was due in October was made to US Bank. And that was on budget. The second interest payment will be to be an interest payment on the new long-term loan plus principal and interest on USDA, and that occurs in the second half of the year. Benefits are over budget target because of the annual retirement payment that we make in July. There's also a variance that I noted, and that's in the medical options. And it appears that when we constructed the budget for the medical option stipends, we started with the wrong number. And that may set us behind for the year in that category. Whether or not we can accommodate it within the article, I haven't yet to determine. The articles, I noticed that the articles that I sent out did a rather poor job of printing, didn't tell you what we were spending our money on. So if I can recap it quickly for you, this year so far, we've spent $4,800 on the fire station repairs. The $2,400 refers to the treasurer's computer, and the $5,000 is the start of the software transition for the water department, which seems to be going pretty well. We've had one change that we think we can accommodate within the budget, and that is we had a new credit card processor, different from what we planned on when we first put together the budget, but it might end up being a better story. We might even be able to include the fire department and other Prudential areas in it when we're all through. That about wraps it up for what I had to say. Are there any questions?
For me,
No,
Okay, thank you, Ray. Move to Freedom Hall. Did Seth and Mark, did you both get a chance to look at the outer limb proposal for our snow plowing?
I did not. Did that
I
come-
got it. I did. I think I got it, didn't I?
Yes, both of you should have gotten it. to
Yeah,
review.
you sent it. I saw it. I mean, it seems fine to me. I don't know. I don't do a lot of comparison shopping for snow plowing. So
Well,
it seems pretty straightforward.
so just so you know that Lisa sent me the last bill that we got from them for snow work last year. And so the price for total snow removal has gone up approximately 7%.
That's on par with everything else.
The
guess.
parking lots salt has also gone up 7%. As you know, we were requested by the water department to not use salt. But I don't think we're gonna be able to do that for Freedom Hall, but I can ask them. They've been putting salt down, plowing, and then, pardon me, putting salt down again. So I think I'm gonna ask them if they can just put it down once after they've plowed. And so that should help. Shoveling the walkways has gone up 6%, and the applying the ice melt on the walkways has gone up 5%. So that's actually less than I expected. So I had
Fran, I didn't receive that. That was an email that you sent out?
Yeah, I sent it out with this attached. It was an attachment.
Did it come with the agenda or the October meeting minutes?
No, it came separately.
We got it on the first, I think.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see. I'll forward it to you.
Yeah, please. What's the address? Is it the fire district address?
Freedom Hall, probably. Yeah, property address, Freedom Hall. Billing address, Freedom Hall.
Oh, okay. If you could forward that, Seth, that would be great.
I just did to Mark William Lynch at
Great.
Katuitt Fire District.
Oh, no, send it to markwilliamlynch@yahoo.com.
Oh, maybe that's why. Let's see.
Yeah.
Of course, I just lost it. There it is. R2.
Yeah, I
There.
literally almost never look at the fire district's email. So everything else Fran sent came through on the markwilliamlynch@yahoo.com. So that's my best email.
I sent it to you now.
Got it. Okay,
So do you want
thanks.
to?
I will take a look at this, but like Seth, I don't have any comparison numbers, so I'm
Well, I had an email from them today and they're anxious to get our answer tomorrow. And it's,
are they new, Fran?
no, we've been using them for 3 years. Is that right? 4 years, right, Lisa?
Outerland took over Maffey.
Maffey.
They took over the business and eventually
Got it.
changed their name after their contract allowed them to do that.
So,
Okay,
So do you want to vote on it then and then approve it? It looks fine to me. I mean, I don't, if they want an answer, I mean, it doesn't.
yeah. So, Mark, do you want to abstain from the vote?
yeah, please.
Okay. Seth, can you make a motion to accept the Outerland proposal for the 2022-2023 snow removal?
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And another Freedom Hall concern is the chairs. We have slowly but surely having chairs fall apart. So I think we need to consider getting some new chairs. I'm going to have to look at supposedly the hall can take 100 it's approved for 150 people. I think that's more standing than sitting. But you know, Lisa disposed of another chair that was broken last night. So I'll get some prices for chairs so that we can get back up to at least 100, depending upon the cost. And for Lori Hadley's celebration yesterday, there were, you know, a good 90 to 100 people at the hall, and it went very, very well. And the family was very pleased with everything.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So I have next the bylaw and policy advisory committees. And I just think that we need to work on getting dates set for those. So who's doing the policy advisory? Say, you were Seth or
I think
Mark?
I'm still doing the policy advisory committee.
All
I am, and I can schedule a meeting. I just haven't done.
Yeah.
But I will for this coming, well, maybe this month or early next month.
And
I remember doing these like in April of last year. Are we moving them up?
we're
or
supposed- actually supposed to start doing them right after the annual meeting. But, you know, that's
Oh,
summer and, you know, that's not a good,
Did we change something having to do with the policy advisory committee, or not the policy advisory committee, with the bylaws committee? Didn't we
No,
amend the
it-
bylaws? That didn't go?
yeah, it was a proposal to make it every other year and it was voted down.
Okay.
so, so Mark, are you gonna do the bylaw committee again?
Sure,
Okay.
it's the same crew as last year, correct?
I'm not 100% sure. I have to contact, look at my notes and, I know, the water people that are on it. Because Jennifer sends that to me, but I have to contact, Ken Malloy to clarify, you know, the other people. But I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Any other concerns or problems that anybody has and wishes to discuss?
I'll just briefly mention the school, Jim Danhauser's doing a great job keeping on top of them. The next, it's the ball is again in their court and they were supposed to be getting planning board approval either at the meeting today or 2 weeks from now. And so he's goosing them along on that. And they're also supposed to give us some changes to the conservation restriction, which we're waiting for. And we had made a proposal regarding the oil tank that I think we had pretty much come to an agreement with them, but haven't yet heard that our proposal is happening. So getting a little bit of silence again from them, but supposedly they're supposed to be meeting the deadlines that were sent out in Jim's last briefing to the Prudential committee. So yeah, we will continue to follow up.
Okay. Jim, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I do not. I suspect they did not meet with the planning department for today.
Yeah, it wasn't on the agenda.
And they need to get it on the agenda for the next meeting, which is the 28th. That needs to happen 6 or 7 days in advance.
Yeah.
So we'll see whether it's on the agenda or not. As Mark indicated, I did email Andy Clyburn and David Anthony, reminding them that we exist. We've had deadlines before and timeframes before, and we have a perfect record of not having them met so far. And so we'll see what transpires.
Since you have Andy Clyburn and address, can you possibly send them an email to let them know that there's a broken window on the front of Freedom Hall? I've talked to the school. I've talked to the DPW, and that was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I drove by last night and it's still broken. And I don't want to accept this building with any broken windows. It's probably, the window is in where they store the chairs in the cafeteria.
Okay.
I'm happy to send that.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Jim has been doing all the hard work lately. I should jump in. Sorry, I didn't see you were on the call, Jim. I didn't mean to steal your thunder here. but-
No, that's okay. I'm just the Civic Association representative. So I'm not
Okay.
here on the school committee matter.
Okay.
Well, you're on the negotiating committee, though.
That's true.
Lisa, is there any public comment?
The only comment comes from Jim, who found his way to the meeting, even though the Zoom link was not on the agenda on the website. His comment is that the Zoom link wasn't on the agenda on the website. So we'll have to be sure to post the video.
Okay. Thank you. So I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion to
moved.
adjourn.
Oh, there you go. I second it then.
And all those who are in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.